If you're watching this video, I've gotten the hell out of Dodge, and I don't mean that I've left the United States. Don't worry. I mean, I'm taking a vacation. I have gone out of town for a week, and I wanted to let you all know that I'm going to continue to post throughout this week. Not me, actually. Well, past me is going to be posting. I have scheduled videos for every day this week, but I won't really be covering current events because I'm taking a much needed break. It's my 25th wedding anniversary and also my 47th birthday. My husband and I have never taken a trip together. We've never had a vacation because we couldn't afford to for a really, really long time. And then we've been really busy. So now that half my kids are adults and the other half are teenagers and they're able to go and stay with friends and do their own thing, my husband and I are taking a little road trip, and we're going to have a vacation for 1 week, which is crazy that it took us 25 years to be able to do that. And no, I'm not telling you where I'm going, but please understand that I won't be in Portland for No King's Day at the end of the week. I will be elsewhere in the country celebrating No King's Day with other patriotic Americans who love freedom, love democracy, love human rights, and want to care for our neighbors and want to end the tyranny of the Trump regime. If you've not signed up for a No King's Day event, you've not found one near you, go to nokings.org. There's going to be gajillions of them. It's going to be the largest single day of protest in the history of the United States. We've had a bunch of those in the last year, right? The 3 single largest days of protest in the history of the United States of America all happened in 2025. Hands off, No Kings 1, No Kings 2, all in response to the tyranny of Donald Trump, his illegal authoritarian actions, his inhumane, cruel actions. All of those. And guess what? No Kings 3 gonna be even bigger. Okay, sorry I had to do that shameless plug. So I just want you to know a couple of things here. It's totally okay to take a break. If you need a break, it's totally healthy and normal. I made a video several days ago where I talked about, a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about how, a couple of weeks ago for y'all, yesterday for me, where I talked about how it's really not a sprint. This resistance work is definitely not a sprint, but it's also not really a marathon. And I had been frequently referring to it as such. And then I heard Peggy Flanagan, who's running for Senate in Minnesota. She's a real one. Indivisible has endorsed her. She doesn't take dark money, doesn't take PAC money. She's really progressive. She's great. I love Peggy Flanagan. If I were in Minnesota, I'd be voting for her. I'm here in Oregon. I will be voting for Jeff Merkley, who absolutely also amazing, awesome. Doesn't take PAC money, is absolutely fighting for democracy and for the people of Oregon. Anyway, okay. So Peggy Flanagan said this thing in an interview the other day where she was saying, I don't want people to think of it as a marathon because it's really not what it is that we're going through is a relay race. It's a relay, and we do really good work, and when we become depleted and we need to rest, we hand off that baton to the next person. We put our hands on our knees, we kind of catch our breath, right? We recharge a little bit and we get ready for the next round, right? By the time the baton comes back to us, okay, we're ready to carry on. We're excited to keep running that race. And I think that is a far more apt analogy. And I actually really struggled with whether or not my husband and I were going to take this trip. 25th anniversary. We didn't do anything for our 20th or 15th or 10th. And I just thought, we're going to do a budget level trip, but I need to get out of Dodge for a little bit. I have got to pass my baton off to other folks right now. And at the end of the week, I'll be ready to pick it back up again. I will be recharged. I will be ready to dive into all of the things I have missed, but it's okay to check out for a week. We're not going to be able to restore democracy in this week that I'm gone. There's not some crucial thing that I'm missing out on. And some of my friends are always reminding me that I don't have to be everything to everybody, right? And how much of it is our own egos can get really caught up in our own need to be needed, that can get wrapped up in feeling like we have to continually give and give and give and give until there's nothing left, until we're like little dried up husks, until we end up getting our immune systems out of whack, until we end up falling ill, until we end up completely burning out. I've had a number of friends and folks that I'm organizing with over the last year who've just like dropped off the radar because they were they were given everything in those early months, and then they got demoralized and they kind of just like dropped off the face of the earth. And I don't know what happened to them, or maybe I do know what happened to them. They just got really, really burned out, right? And we don't want that to happen because we know this is good and worthy work. We know at the end of this, at the end of toppling fascism, that's just the beginning of building all of the reforms, building a stable democratic society, building the future of this country. And so we're really in it for, I think, the rest of our lives. And so we have to make this work sustainable. because we want to be involved. It is the leaders of the resistance. It is the good people who are involved right now in toppling fascism who will get to decide what happens next in the United States, who will get to craft that future America. And we want to be present and involved and contributing for all of that work. Again, I think it's going to take the rest of my life. I would not be surprised. But how exciting on some level, right? Like how exciting, what good things we get to have in the future. What reforms we get to bring, all of the things that we've felt for years and years, maybe our whole lives, that like we should have had in the United States. Universal health care. We should have had protection, more protections for workers. We should have had an America that works for us. We should have had privacy protections. We should have had greater access to prosperity and comfort and security. And like so many things should have been different in the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? Where is the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness? Okay, we get to help bring all of that about in the future. All of the things that were dangled in front of us, but always just kind of barely out of reach. No, we get to demand all of those now, if we are present and focused and we've got the energy and the capacity to do that work and insist on those reforms. So I'm going to take this week-long break. I'm going to come back and tell you all about it. I actually think I'm probably going to film footage while I'm at this location because it's very applicable to permaculture, and then I will talk about it when I get back. But I promised folks I would not be editing videos. I would not be doing live streams or talking about breaking political news for the next week so that I can come back and be ready to sustain this work for the long haul. And I just want to encourage you, if you need those breaks, that's totally normal. You should not feel guilty about it. In organizing, we say, respect your season. Respect your season. So in that spirit, I would like to read to you a little bit here from Let This Radicalize You by Kelly Hayes and Miriam Kaba. Organizers are not machines. We are living beings who experience stages of energetic growth, periods of exhaustion, it's kind of where I'm at right now, and various stages of healing, reconfiguration, and renewal. The same is true of movements and communities. However, under capitalism, our value is measured in terms of our productivity, right? As an anti-capitalist, I'm always pushing back against this. Elon Musk only thinks about how we can produce labor and revenue for him, right? The billionaires don't see us as fully human. They don't see us as human at all unless we are productive. Unless we're earning them money, unless we're enriching them, we don't matter at all to them, right? We are inconsequential. We are only about what we can produce for them. But we believe in this movement that we have intrinsic value because we are human beings and that our worth is not tied to our productivity, which is why it's so important that we get the kind of reforms that protect us from the Epstein class, that tax them out of existence, that enact justice, right, for all of the ways that we have been exploited by them. Okay, sorry, get off my soapbox for a second here. When our capacity wanes due to illness, exhaustion, or duress, workers are largely expected to remain productive anyway and to continue to contribute to the economy. When we fail to do so, we are viewed as less valuable and made to feel inadequate or even burdensome, and we are at risk of disposal. It is unsurprising then that this mentality manifests itself in our movement work. But the idea that we must remain productive at all costs leads to frustration, resentment, burnout, and collapse. So if you're watching this, I'm out in nature right now, either on a hike or sitting with my spinning wheel, making some beautiful yarn, taking some time to rest and heal and recover. And I would encourage you, however you can, access that as well. Access that rest and recovery for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Understand that it's part of the natural ebb and flow of this work. Do as I say, not as I do. But in this instance, do as I do. Access that rest. Access that ability to kind of let your body unplug from what's happening, understanding that you're going to get right back in it. You'll come from a place of drawing from that deep well that you've taken time to recharge and refill, rather than coming from a place of being depleted from the get-go. If you're missing the fact that I'm probably not going to post as many videos this week, go back and watch some of my old permaculture content if you want to. Lots of good gardening stuff there. I know that it's starting to feel like spring here. Or maybe this is a good time to read a good book when you previously would have watched one of my videos this week. If I'm only putting out a couple a day, maybe take some time for yourself for rest, some time for education, or some time to maybe engage with crafts or hobbies that you find worthwhile. It's okay. It's okay to do that. And thank you all for letting me have the chance to take this break and get a little bit of downtime. I will be back in less than a week, and I will be raring to go. We have so much good work ahead of us and so many good things that we get to do. I'm really glad that we're doing it together.